Hello, hello to our students joining us this evening for our session with several schools over on that West Coast. This is the Collegewise virtual college fair powered by StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. Students, a couple things before I pass it off to our college representatives. If at any point in time you have a question throughout the session, please feel free to use that Q&A button that's at the bottom of your screen. Your camera and microphone are off, students, so the panelists can't see or hear you. But if you do want to communicate with them, go ahead and use that Q&A button. Also, there are additional Collegewise sessions occurring tomorrow. This is the last one this evening, but there are some tomorrow. So check out that strivescan.com/collegewise for more sessions tomorrow. And this will be recorded. So if you want to check back for anything in the recording, it will be on that website where you registered, usually within a few days. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and pass it off to our presenter from the University of Redlands.
Good. Well, good evening, everybody. I just want to check and make sure. Can you see my screen okay? Yes. Okay, perfect. So my name is Keith Kissel. I'm obviously with the admissions office at the University of Redlands, and as you probably know, we got about 6 minutes to kind of give you a 118-year history here at the University of Redlands. So I am going to talk pretty quickly. We are a private liberal arts institution located in the city of Redlands, which is in Southern California. So we sit in a town that's close to about 70,000 residents here. It's a quaint little downtown area where the campus itself is about a mile from the downtown area. Our students will do quite a bit of things to do in the downtown area. The local businesses are very supportive of the university and the students. You'll find them job shadowing, doing internships, staying involved. But when students are caught up with their work, they are going to explore Southern California, and there's quite a bit to do here in Southern California. So based on where we're located, we're right at the base of the Angeles National Forest. So if you like to ski, our nearest ski resort is about a 30-minute drive from us. About an hour south of us, you're at the beach. An hour east, you're in the desert of Palm Springs and Joshua Tree. And then the city of Los Angeles, we're a good 45 minutes directly west of us. So hiking, biking, fishing, camping, surfing, any and all activities that end, for the most part, in an ING. It's right in your backyard. We are a smaller private liberal arts institution, smaller being about 2,400 undergraduates. With our education, our students certainly receive depth in their discipline, but they're also going to have a lot of depth within other disciplines that tie in to their major. Our student to faculty ratio here is 13:1, and it's probably the one thing I really enjoy most about Redlands is how collegial the atmosphere you're going to find here. And it starts with this student body, size of the student body, as well as the student faculty ratio. So our professors do serve as advisors. They're your mentors. They get to know who you are, your strengths, grad school options. They write letters of recommendations. They're going to help secure internships or work to have you job shadow someplace. So it's again, a very collegial atmosphere. The majors that we offer, we have about 50 different programs of study, and you can see these on the screen here. Some of the more popular disciplines: business, biology, your health sciences, environmental science, sociology, psychology, our School of Music, but we also have some unique majors. We have a 3-2 engineering program where we have a partnership with Columbia University and Washington University in St. Louis. We have a creative writing program and a spatial studies, but we also have a program where students can design their major, and that's called our Johnston Center for Integrative Studies. So students come in basically with a blank piece of paper, and they contract how they want to study here, and they name their degree whatever they want it to be called. So the great thing about Redlands is none of our majors are impacted. Our students will come and explore first before they actually decide. We are a residential campus. Residential being, we require our students to live on campus all 4 years here, unless they live locally, and local to us is about 30 miles. So anyone outside of 30 miles we require those students to live on campus. And I honestly think it's one of the best stipulations we place on our students, to have you live with students from 45 states, 45 countries. It's a very diverse atmosphere, but the vibe you'll find at Redlands, it's a very friendly place. It's not a place where everybody's competing with each other. It's a place where they're getting involved in various clubs, organizations. So we do have 120 clubs, organizations, where we have a Greek system. We're NCAA Division III. So we have about a quarter of our students are in a sport here on campus. We have radio stations. So the vibe, again, is a place where if you're quiet, shy, reserved, you'll have a hard time here because people talk to you. And if you're pretty active, you're the one that's forcing other students to get involved. Our application process, we have a couple of key deadlines. We have a November 15th, early action, early decision, and we also have our regular decision. So your early decisions being November 15th. If we apply by this time, students hear back no later than January. Regular decision, January 15th, we roll out decisions soon after. And we are on the common application. So students, if you apply, you'll use the common application. Our average GPA that we typically see is about a 3.7. The average SAT score, and we are test optional. The average SAT for those that submit is about 1180 or a 26 ACT. Every single student who applies will be considered for merit-based scholarship. This can range up to $31,000. So all a student has to do is apply, get accepted, and we'll consider for our merit-based scholarship. We also give out need-based financial aid. So I encourage all students to fill out the FAFSA or the Dream Act form. Once we get that information, we're going to send out a financial aid package after a student gets accepted. So the average financial aid package here is about just over $42,000. There's students that get more, students get less, but when it's all said and done, a lot of students, financial aid package is we're pretty close to what our state system is out here. So so that's a quick 6 minutes. I hope this helps out, and we get on our mailing list, and got 3 seconds left. I think I'm done. Thanks for joining.
On the nose. Thanks, University of Redlands. We will move on to now our presenter from Scripps College.
Okay, let me get my screen going here. Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Jessica Johnston. I'm Associate Director of Admission at Scripps College in Claremont, California. So just some basic information here. We were founded in 1926 by Ellen Browning Scripps, who is worth Googling. She was a fascinating person, and she was also 90 when she founded Scripps. So she pretty much never retired. We are a women's college, and we are also part of the Claremont Colleges Consortium. I'll talk about both of those in a little bit more detail in a minute here. We are quite small. We have just over 1,000 students on campus, so that means we do have small class sizes, just like Redlands. This is a place where you'll know your professors and your professors will know you. We are a highly residential campus as well. And then you can see some of our most popular majors there as well: biology, English, economics, politics, psychology, media studies, a little bit all over the place. We're very much a liberal arts college. Our students tend to like a little bit of everything. They tend to be the type who, you ask them what they want to major in, and they say, "Ooh, can I major in everything, please?" There's a bit of an academic adventurousness to our students, I would say. Now, Keith did some of my work for me here, talking a little bit about life in Southern California, because we're only about a half hour west of Redlands. So a lot of the things that you can take advantage of in Southern California at Redlands, you can also take advantage of while you're living in Claremont. So Claremont is a city of about 35,000 people. We're about 35 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. Claremont calls itself the city of trees and PhDs, which is kind of cheesy, but it is appropriate. It's very much a leafy suburb. And if you're interested in going into Los Angeles, there is a commuter rail train that'll take you to the main Union Station. You can hop on other public transportation to get to the beach, or if you want to go find the best ramen in Little Tokyo, or whatever it is that you want to do, then Southern California, kind of the world is your oyster. So zooming in a bit, we are a member of the Claremont Colleges Consortium. So we have 5 undergraduate liberal arts colleges, all literally across the street from one another. So you can see from this map, which is my favorite map ever, we've got Harvey Mudd, Scripps, Pitzer, Claremont McKenna, and Pomona colleges. From the top of Harvey Mudd to the bottom of Pomona is a 20-minute walk. So super easy to get from place to place. There's no shuttle bus or anything like that. And students can take classes on the other campuses. You can, generally speaking, major in things taught on the other campuses. You can join clubs elsewhere, go to events elsewhere, eat in any of the dining halls. So you can really mix and mingle as much as you like. So something that makes us different from our neighbors is that we have a core curriculum. It's called the Core Curriculum in Interdisciplinary Humanities. It's a mouthful, so we just call it CORE. It's a 3-course sequence designed to give you a foundation in interdisciplinary thinking through a humanities-based lens. So you'll start in your first semester of your first year taking Core 1. It's taught to the entire first year class all at one time. You have lecture once a week with everybody and discussion sections twice a week. And there's always an overarching theme to Core 1. Right now that theme is truth. And each week the lecture will be given by a different professor from a different department. So that's where you're getting this interdisciplinary look all at this one big idea of truth, so that you can hopefully get a better sense of the topic as a whole and start to see the relationships between seemingly unrelated fields. If you have further questions about the core program, I'm happy to go into more detail, but I'm already starting to run out of time and I have more ground to cover. So while I'm on this slide, I do want to also talk about the fact that we're a women's college, which is makes us very different from 99% of colleges in the country. There are only around 3 dozen women's colleges left. But I would say in a lot of ways, your day-to-day life at a women's college is not going to be dramatically different than at any other small liberal arts college, because we're also that. Especially at the Claremont colleges, though, you can have as co-ed a life as you want or not. And so it's kind of up to you how you want to interact with the other Claremont colleges. But at the end of the day, we are absolutely 100% a women's college. You can expect a tight-knit, supportive, collaborative, friendly community of students who understand that success is not a zero-sum game, that your success and accomplishments don't take away from mine, that this is a place where women's voices are lifted up and celebrated, where women's leadership is a priority. And so we just think about things differently. And it makes for a kind of refreshing experience. So just to highlight a couple of things here quickly, as of this year, we are also SAT and ACT test optional. This is a new change, but a permanent change for those of you who may be juniors or sophomores. You will not have to submit SAT or ACT for Scripps. This was already in the works before the pandemic ever hit. We have a couple of deadlines. Early decision 1 deadline is December 1st. So that's 2 weeks later than it used to be. So know that that's the new deadline. January 5th for early decision 2 and regular decision. And we have 2 types of financial aid, just like Redlands. We have need-based aid and we do have other scholarships. We guarantee to meet 100% of your family's demonstrated financial need as determined by the FAFSA and CSS profile forms, as long as you turn those forms into us by our financial aid deadlines. And all admitted students are automatically considered for all of our other scholarships. There's no early deadline, no special application, no nothing. So those scholarships range from $15,000 to $28,000, renewable for all 4 years. So they can be a pretty good deal. So that's my official spiel. I think I'm okay on time. So I look forward to answering any other questions that you have about Scripps in particular in the Q&A, or just kind of generally about college. Happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will pass it off to our presenter from Chapman University.
Awesome. Happy to be here. I'm going to share my screen with you all, and then I'll go ahead and get started. I've had some trouble with the presentation style of a PowerPoint when sharing my screen, so I'm just going to click through it. So hopefully that works for everyone. But my name is Lauren Birch. I work at Chapman University in the Office of Admission. I'm also a proud Chapman alum. So I'm super excited to be here with you all and to share a little bit more about Chapman. So to give you a nice broad overview, we are a medium-sized liberal arts university. You'll see that we have about 7,500 undergraduate students, another couple thousand graduate and law students. So the total comes out to just under 10,000 total students. What is nice about our size is even though we are a medium-sized school, we're going to be larger than your high school. We still have small class sizes, which I think is pretty unique to Chapman. We have an average class size of around 24 students, student to faculty ratio 13:1. So similar to Scripps and similar to Redlands, we're going to allow you to get to know your professors super well, your classmates. So that's something I definitely enjoyed. We also have a ton of different majors and minors available. In our application, we give you the option to apply for a major right from the start. So if you have something in mind, you can apply for that major and start taking those classes from day one at Chapman. So 52 majors to choose from, really ranging in topics, STEM, business, the humanities, a ton of different majors available. We also have a lot of representation on campus, 48 states, 4 territories, 83 countries total, and a good chunk of our students study abroad. You'll see that over half of our students study abroad. So we really want our students to become those global citizens. So we really encourage that on our campus. I'd say one thing that also sets Chapman apart is that we really value a personalized education, that hands-on approach. And again, as a medium-sized school, having those small class sizes, I think that's pretty special. So whether you are in the lab or you are studying business, econ, or something in more of the arts and entertainment, know that you will be getting that hands-on experience from that very first semester. So I definitely saw that as a student. So I think that is something that a lot of you might be really excited about. We also have a ton of ways to get involved on campus. We are a Division III school when it comes to athletics. We have 21 varsity level teams. Again, I mentioned lots of study abroad opportunities. I think that's a huge part of a lot of Chapman students' experience. And we also have a ton of performance opportunities as well. You'll see down in the corner. You don't have to be a dance major or a music major or any major within our College of Performing Arts to really participate in these different programs. So again, another thing that really shows you how our students are participating not only in the classroom, but outside the classroom as well. Scripps and Redlands also cover this, so I won't spend too much time on our location. We are a little bit more coastal than Scripps and Redlands, but still located within Southern California. Disneyland is right in our backyard, definitely a big employer of Chapman students. Angel Stadium, also just about 10 minutes away. So if you enjoy watching baseball games, we're in between 2 major cities, LA and San Diego, but definitely more of a suburban town. So smaller college town feel, and then in between the mountains and the beaches. So definitely SoCal, I think in general, is just a great place if you're interested in the great outdoors. This slide right here, just to give you a little bit of an idea what is in Orange County. I think that a lot of students, I came from out of state and I was definitely thinking about LA, big cities when it comes to finding job opportunities and internship opportunities. But Orange County actually has over 80,000 total different businesses, companies, and a lot of them are thinking Chapman first, looking to Chapman to hire students. So definitely a lot of internship opportunities in the area. Shifting focus a little bit to campus expansion, just know that we are constantly moving and shifting on campus, looking for ways to grow, not necessarily in our size, still keep those small class sizes, but in our different buildings on campus. So we recently opened the Keck Center, which is for our STEM students, brand new lab spaces, study spaces, classrooms. And the K is actually a residence hall for our upperclassmen students. So we really love our freshman students and our sophomore students to live on campus. So that's why we're really growing in residence life areas. The last thing I'll cover is our deadlines. Definitely important to write this down. We have 2 different deadlines. The early deadline is November 1st. Regular deadline is January 15th. So if you are a senior, we're only a few days away from November 1st. So it might be in your best interest to apply by January 15th. These deadlines stay the same about every year. So definitely write these down. We have both early action and early decision. So definitely learn the difference between the two. And just keep in mind, if you're looking at any of the 6 majors that are listed on this slide right here, November 1st is a priority deadline for those programs. So make sure you're aware that you need to apply by November 1st for those majors. Similar to Scripps, we recently decided to go test optional, but it will be for the foreseeable future. This was not a COVID decision. So if you are a junior or sophomore or a freshman, know that we will still be test optional when you are applying. Very last slide, this is my contact information. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me. It's lbirch@chapman.edu. And the very last thing I'll mention is this QR code right here. We're actually hosting virtual Discover Chapman events in a couple weeks in November. It's a bunch of different information sessions on student life, on different majors and schools. So it's a really great way to learn a ton about Chapman, definitely more than 6 minutes worth. So definitely scan that QR code if you're interested in signing up, and email me if you have any questions. But thank you all and enjoy the rest of the fair.
Thank you. And we will move on to our presenter from Alaska Pacific University.
All right, thank you. Let me get my screen up. All right, let me get rid of that. And that. Awesome. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Campbell. I am one of the admission counselors at Alaska Pacific University. We are obviously in Alaska. We're not in California. So if you're wanting the adventure and wanting to get out of state, definitely come check us out. A little bit about us. We are a smaller private liberal arts science and liberal arts focused school in Anchorage, Alaska, which is Alaska's largest city. We are right next to University of Anchorage, or Alaska Anchorage, which you'll hear from just in a minute. However, we are a little bit of a different feel. We're about a fifth of their size, so you'll get a little bit of a different experience and atmosphere just in general. We once were Alaska Methodist University in 1960 and then became Alaska Pacific University, keeping the Methodist roots in 1978. We are committed to the heritage of Alaska Native education, just learning about their culture, the 229 federally recognized tribes that are in Alaska, while allowing you to have rigorous academics. We also have about an hour away Kellogg Farm in Palmer, Alaska, which is about 900 acres where there are crops that are grown. There's a yurt there. A lot of the outdoor studies or sustainability studies, students will use that. So just another second campus that we have. We are about 529 students. So we are very small, like some of the other schools. That's including both graduate and undergraduate students. So though Anchorage has about 300,000 people, we are a smaller, tight-knit community. We have 78% of our students are coming from Alaska. However, we do house about 31 other states and countries. So you'll get a little bit of a melting pot where students are coming from all over the place, which is really neat. We have 3 on-campus housing options. So we have Seagullhorst, Atwood, and University Village. One of those is a traditional dorm style and the others are apartment style. With an 8-to-1 student-professor ratio, you're going to get a really attention-focused, hands-on, individualized feel. And again, I kind of mentioned this before, but we're a Native American Indian serving campus. So life in Alaska, for those of you that have never been to Alaska, some of you might wonder, do you still have roads? Do you still have a Target or a Starbucks or places to get job opportunities? Yes, we have all of that, and I can assure you of that. Just some of the cool things about getting to live in Alaska, there's adventure all around, a lot of opportunity for outdoor recreation, breathtaking views, mountains all around, a lot of rich history within the state, and a lot of wildlife. So just the other day we had 3 moose on campus. One of my coworkers sent me a picture and there were 3 moose that were right up next to our building, and people were taking pictures of it. So pretty cool to experience that. Academics, we are a place-based experiential learning campus, so we don't want the classroom and the 4 walls of that to be the only way that you're learning. We want you to get a chance to get outside of that. So for some programs, that might mean going and studying on top of a mountain or beside a glacier. For others, that might mean going into a hospital for clinicals, or it might mean going into Anchorage to a local business to do an internship. With a small campus, we have a student and community focus, and you're going to get a lot of support and respect from your classmates, from your professors. You will be known. If you're coming from out of state, many of you, you'll still get to feel at home on our campus. We have 12 undergraduate academic programs, which I'll talk about in the next slides, and we want to keep information relevant to Alaska. So whether that's learning about our history and our culture, whether it's learning about current events that are going on or the climate, you'll get to learn all of that. So the programs, I won't dive too much into the time's sake, but we have a lot of variety in different programs. So we have a new nursing program that is brand new this year. We have a lot of other science-based, so we have outdoor studies, sustainability studies, and marine and environmental sciences that are some of the more popular majors, but we also do have some others such as counseling psychology and creative writing. There's a lot of opportunity for jobs within Anchorage, and there's a lot of connections that our professors have within the state and within the city of Anchorage. Life on campus, I'm just going to kind of go through this quickly so that I can get to the admissions and financial aid. But I talked about the dorms a little bit. There are 2 meal plan options. You get a chance to use that in the dining hall, on our coffee cart on campus, or with our partnership through Costco, getting groceries through there. On campus and off campus events could be anything from going rafting on a river, going hiking in the mountains, going to a movie, doing a cooking class. They want to provide anything and everything for you. We also have a lot of clubs and intramurals, so there's kind of something for everyone. And we have an indoor rock wall and a saltwater indoor pool. So admissions, so you'll submit your application for fall. The priority deadline is May 1st. Late deadline is August 1st. Those are dates to keep in mind. You'll submit the application and the $25 application fee. However, we have fee waivers if you attend one of our events coming up, or if you just reach out to us and you have a circumstance needing that. We look for a 2.5 or higher for your high school GPA. When we don't require the test scores as some of the other schools. We are test optional. You'll get to be in touch with either myself or one of the other counselors, and then we'd love to have you come visit, whether it's virtually through one of our events, our virtual tour, or coming on campus. So we don't have out-of-state tuition. The tuition is same in state and out of state. We have Merit scholarships ranging from $1,500 to $7,000 when you're in your APA if you want to get admitted. Discounts for out-of-state students is $1,000. FAFSA, you heard about that from the other universities, just getting need-based aid. And we also have other scholarships available to you. So we'd love to have you here. If you have questions, put them in the chat. Follow us on social media, and then our contact information is there. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. And now on to University of Alaska, Anchorage.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Catherine Pasqua. I'm an admissions counselor with the University of Alaska, Anchorage. And as a UAA alum, I'm so excited to share with you today what makes our campus special. One of the unique things about UAA is our location. Alaska Pacific University already mentioned about Anchorage, which we are also located in Anchorage, right next door to APU. And our campus is located in the heart of the city. We like to say our campus is urban and wild. Students have immediate access to shopping, dining, entertainment, and other perks of city living, but there are also over 100 miles of hiking and biking trails all around our campus. In fact, our famous Alyeska ski resort is only a 30-minute drive away from our campus. Now, there's also plenty of other things to do, like camping, fishing, and even berry picking during the summer as well. Now, while there's quite a bit of snow during the winter, Anchorage is not dark all the time. On the shortest day of the year, there are still 5.5 hours of daylight. And then to balance that off, there are about 22 hours of daylight on the longest day of the year, which is during the summer. Now, in terms of size, UAA has almost 12,000 students on campus with a 1:16 professor to student ratio. This means you get the educational and research opportunities of attending a big school, but also the one-on-one attention and assistance of a smaller university. UAA was recently ranked in the top 15% nationally for best term return on investment, and then also ranked #1 amongst our peer institutions. UAA graduates have gone on to launch successful careers at companies like Microsoft, Alaska Airlines, Providence Health and Services, ConocoPhillips, and many others. Now, UAA is an open access institution, which means it is our institution's mission to decrease the barriers wherever possible. As like many of our institutions here today, we are test optional and have always been test optional. We recommend you to take the ACT or the SAT, such as for scholarship reasons and applying elsewhere, though UAA, they are not required for our admissions. Our application is also free. It's very straightforward. It takes about 15 minutes to complete, and there's no essay required. Now, our UAA has a robust student life, both on and off campus. We have over 100 student clubs and organizations, from chapter associations to academics to our esports team. And if you can't find a club of your interest, you can definitely create your own. We have a very active and involved student government, as well as plenty of student employment opportunities. Our Seawolf debate team is ranked among the top 10 programs in the world. And in additionally, we offer Division 1 and 2 competitive sports with attendance to games free for all students, as well as our intramural teams. As a major public university and the largest in Alaska, our degree programs are offered through our 5 distinct colleges with over 100 degree programs you can choose from. Everything from science and engineering to visual arts and to business. Now, if you're undecided, that's okay. We offer an exploratory pathway to help you explore and figure out what you want to do with the help of our first-year advisors. Now, being in Alaska and at UAA specifically means having access to cutting-edge research, internships, job opportunities such as in Arctic studies, climate change, natural resources, economic development, and so much more. In terms of cost and affordability, UAA offers several reduced tuition programs. 2 I'm going to highlight today. One is the Western Undergraduate Exchange, or WUI for short. It is a program that offers reduced tuition to students from participating states. At UAA, there is no additional application for WUI. We automatically apply the WUI rate to students who identify as residents from a WUI state on their application. We also offer additional tuition discounting for military affiliated students who meet the requirements. Now, this slide right here compares the cost of a year, meaning 2 semesters of full-time attendance, which is about 12 credits a semester, and if you're paying full-time versus the WUI tuition. Now, although coming to Alaska is an adventure in its own, we also offer both international study abroad and national student exchange programs. A wonderful perk of these programs is that many of them allow you to pay UAA tuition instead of the tuition of the school you're exchanging to. In terms of our campus and living, we offer 3 housing options. About 90% of our living situations have a private bedroom and a bathroom shared with only 1 other person. I think one of the nice things about living on campus is our living learning communities. And one of those is our first-year residential program. And it is designed to help first-year students with transition to college through peer mentoring, tutoring, and make sure that they're involved in social events as well. Now, to learn more about UAA, I invite you to check out our virtual tour, or you can also sign up for our Green and Gold Visit Days, where myself or another admissions counselor gives a UAA presentation and then walks you through the virtual tour. I also invite you this Wednesday, October 28th, to our Academic Preview Day to learn more about our academic programs for among campus leaders. Now, to wrap things up, UAA is a growing and expanding university and an excellent place to continue your amazing story. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. My contact information is there on the slide. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Great, thank you so much to all of our presenters. We do have a few minutes here, students, so I'm sure you might have some questions brewing after our presentations thus far. So go ahead and put those questions into the Q&A if you have them. Right now, because we do have a little bit of extra time, I am going to ask our presenters to come on back, and everyone will get about 45 seconds to a minute. Anything that you'd like to share and leave us with, maybe something unique about campus, maybe a cool campus tradition. And we will go ahead and start with University of the Redlands. I think you're on mute.
Sorry about that. I was walking a student around campus, obviously social distancing, just the other day, and we have this saying. It's called the Octomolly, and it's a fight song that our alums developed a few years. I shouldn't say a few years, about 100 years ago, and to this day, no one knows what it means, and it's turned into it's turned into a universal hello for Redlands alums. So after every time we score, at a football game, our whole fans chant this Octomolly. And but if I'm walking in a mall somewhere and I have a Redlands shirt, and they're alum, somebody's going to come up to me and say Octomolly. So it's pretty cheesy, but it's actually pretty cool.
All right, and Scripps College.
Yes, I'm going to change my background because we can do this. This is my favorite spot on campus and my favorite tradition. It's called the Graffiti Wall. So every graduating class gets a spot on the wall to paint a mural of some kind that's meant to be representative of their time at Scripps. And then every student in the class will also get to sign her name. So everybody gets to literally leave their mark on Scripps. It's kind of like a time capsule though. You get to see what was on people's minds at various points in our history. So some of the murals are related to things kind of in the wider world, like 1970s is about the Vietnam War. Some of them are just like inside jokes that are otherwise lost to the sands of time. And then others are frankly just weird. And it's fascinating. I feel like every time I go by the Graffiti Wall, I see something that I haven't seen before. And sometimes I think, oh, that's so beautiful, so poignant. And other times it's like, oh, well, that's something. So it's kind of an irreverent place on campus, but also like a living reminder of the legacy of Scripps graduates and that community that you're a part of for the rest of your life.
That's great. We will move on to Chapman University.
Awesome. I was actually just going to talk to you guys a little bit about something sort of unique to Chapman. It's called interterm. Chapman's semester system is a little bit different than other schools in the sense that we have a fall semester and a spring semester, and sandwiched right in the middle is something we call interterm. It takes place over the month of January, and it's a miniature term where students can all take a single class. So it's a time where you are finishing a class in a single month in just 4 weeks compared to 4 months. So definitely taking it at a really quick pace. I took some really interesting classes over interterm. I took a travel course over interterm. So we usually offer about 10 courses that take place outside of California and outside of the United States as well. So super fun. You can take the month of interterm off, so you can also have a really long winter break. So it's really up to students how they spend that month of January out of the 4 years that they're at Chapman.
Excellent. And Alaska Pacific.
Yeah, so two quick things that I was going to mention. One is something that I forgot to mention in my presentation, but we do have the Nordic ski training facility on campus. And the last Winter Olympics, we sent about 10 athletes to the Winter Olympics. So that's something that's pretty unique to our campus. Another experience that is unique to APU is we have something called Expedition Alaska. This is a first-year experience, an introduction for students. It's a project-based learning where you get to meet on campus first, do some learning, and then you actually take a trip and you go rafting on the Yukon. So this is with other students and with faculty. It's a good chance to get to know others before you hop into classes. Yeah.
All right, awesome. And Alaska Anchorage.
Two fun fact about our campus, UAA, is that our students our student population is very diverse. They are all from different areas of the US as well as over 89 countries. And then one campus tradition that I attend annually is called the Campus Kickoff. It is in August, just right before classes begin, and is a big celebration to welcome new students, welcome back continuing students, and it is an outdoor festival with booths, games, live music, and entertainment. There's also a comedy show right afterwards, and then late at one night, we take students to a local shopping area, and then they get special discounts as UAA students. Of course, during COVID, we actually turned that all around into virtual. So we'll see what the next year has to come.
Haven't we all? Haven't we all? All right. Well, I don't see any more questions in the chat. Thank you so much for all of our students and parents joining us this evening. It was great to see you. Students and parents, I just want to remind you that when you click out of the webinar, there will be a quick 4-question survey that will appear. If you could answer that for us, it does help in terms of us determining future programming, especially if so much will remain virtual for a little bit of time here. And also, please note that there are some sessions with Collegewise again tomorrow. So check out the schedule for those sessions. I believe they will be a little bit earlier in the day. So make sure to check the time zones and the time frames for those sessions occurring tomorrow. And this recording will be available on that same website where you registered shortly, usually within a few days. Thanks everyone for joining us this evening, and have a good night. Bye everyone. Thanks.